Welcome back. We're here for our Porchcast, Toto and I, and the Queen is safe at home because of social distancing. But we have big news. This is life-changing, actually. I just want you to know, for all the people, all the doubters out there, I have proof that there is a God. Right here. Yep. Came today. Yes, it sure did. We're going to open the rest of it up. I got very excited. I wanted to share this news. And you're probably wondering how this happened. And I'm going to tell you, actually, after I see it for real. There it is. It's real, people. Toilet paper. There is a God. So I'm going to tell you how I got this wonderful case of toilet paper. But I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm actually going to tell you on Sunday night, right, Toto? Because we have started to do something new, some online Bible studies. And last week we started with Job, because when we think of suffering, Job immediately comes to mind. And so this coming week, I've already donned my robe, and you can too also don your royal robe, because we will be talking about Esther for such a time as this. And I know there may be some of you out there who are not Bible people, and it's kind of not what you signed up for. You wanted some fun Porchcasts and some inspiration. But I will tell you, this book, there's no more inspiration than here, so I hope you can tune in, because really I like to make these sessions very relevant to what's happening today in our world, because there's so much fear and we need encouragement now more than ever. This is a time we need hope and we need encouragement. So I thought this week we would talk about friendship and community. And last week we talked about taking inventory and kind of what's going on in here and even in our houses, kind of reducing clutter, home projects. But now I want to kind of cast that net a little bigger and talk about support and the people around us. And as a single person, this can be a real challenge, because isolation is a very real issue for many, many single people. And I've been single 18 years, so it's a real issue. And I think a lot of people are facing it now with what they're going through with this coronavirus, with being at home. And it's driving people crazy. So I actually am pretty used to it. I've been doing it a while, and I work from home. So all those who are like wanting to go back to work, now you see the challenges of working from home as well. So, but the importance of staying connected. And just to share a little bit of my story in the last week, it's actually been pretty awesome. Our singles group has been getting together on Zoom, and that's where we've been doing our Bible study discussions. So we do them on Facebook, 7 o'clock on Sunday night. We also do one on Wednesday night with Heath and Marilyn, and they're amazing. And then we connect on Zoom. And Zoom is just a great tool because you can log on and actually see a person. So how awesome is that? So this idea of connecting and having a support system really, really rang true this week, especially in our study of Job. Just to touch on that, what a great example. So Job, as you know, if you've heard the story or if you tuned in on Sunday night, lost everything. His cattle, his servants, his family, except for his wife, who said, "Curse God and die." So not so much support on the home front. But then we hear from his 3 friends, and initially they just showed up. They didn't say a word, and they were there to support Job. But then they started to give unwanted advice, and they pestered him for like 30 some chapters. And I think they were a perfect example of friends that are not the kind of friends that you would want during this difficult time. We really need people who have our best interests at heart, who are looking to help and support us with where we are. And we're all handling this differently. And it's all affecting us differently. There are some hot spots all over the country we know about. People are really struggling. Frontline workers are exhausted. We're praying for them. We're praying for you. But everybody's kind of has their own picture of what this coronavirus pandemic looks like. And so we need to meet people where they are. And I think Jesus is such a perfect example where he literally came to earth and met people physically. And he didn't have to do that. And we need to do that and follow that example as well. Not the example of Job's friends. They were basically questioning him. What did you do wrong? What sin did you commit? And it's just sometimes there's just this, the idea of a ministry of presence, of just showing up. And now the challenge is we can't show up. So it adds a little layer of complication. But what you can do is you can show up in different ways. So we need to be creative in how we're showing up for people. Maybe it's through a card in the mail. I know my mom has been doing that. So my 91-year-old mother, the Queen, who someday will be sitting back with me, I want to share a little bit about what the Queen has been doing because she's such a perfect example. So she has been calling people and just encouraging them. And she's been praying for them. She's been encouraging them. She's been sending a lot of cards. She is definitely a card person. She loves to write little notes. And so those are all things that we can do to help us stay connected. She's getting on the Facebook, as she likes to call it, which I think is hilarious. So you probably see her out there. So watch out, the Queen is out there. But I just love, I call her my pixie dust because I think she's a perfect living example of somebody who is just trying to bring light and love and some joy. And that's what we need now more than ever. So we need those kinds of people in our lives. And we need to be that kind of person for somebody else. And I think that's really important to remember because I think in times like this we can kind of, and this happened with Job even, a very righteous man. He started to kind of wallow in his circumstances and self-pity and why me, and I want this to go away, and I wish I never lived. And we all probably have had moments like that. And that's okay as long as they're moments and we don't stay there. And I think one way to lift us out of that is to help somebody else, is to extend the hand, to do what the Queen is doing, and to help somebody, to call them, to encourage them, and to be that light for somebody who really needs it. So anyway, I just thought that the Job study was a perfect example of how we need a support system. And poor Job did not have it, but he had such an incredible deep faith. And that's always something I want to remind you of, and also myself, that in this time of stillness, that it is a perfect opportunity to work on a relationship with the Lord. Because even Job, who lost everything, and even his body was covered in boils, so he was in physical pain, he lost everything. In the end, after questioning God, he never got the answers to his questions. But he got something better. He grew in his relationship with the Lord. And that is when everything changed, and he repented and was restored. And I know that this too shall pass, that we will be restored, that this will end at some point. And I just hope and pray that until that time that you surround yourself by supportive friends and family, and that you're that person. I have been so blessed. Even right before this all started back in February, I got to spend time, a long weekend, with some of my sorority sisters from 30 some years ago. And they're still in my life. And I've written my story is about them this week, called Pure Gold. So I hope you read my story. And what a blessing it's been to have these wonderful friends in my life for so many years. And also to be blessed with all these new people coming in. And wonderful new friends who I consider friends for life now. So I just pray that you too are blessed with people in your life, and that you can be that blessing. And that, it takes a friend to be a friend. So you have a role to play in it too, and we all know that, right? It's not a one-way street. So maybe be praying this week how you can be that friend and that support and that pixie dust, like my mom, for somebody else. So thank you so much for tuning in again. I hope you tune in Sunday night. I'll put the link in the newsletter. It's 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on my author Julie Osborne Facebook page for our lesson on Esther. And it's very relevant to what we're talking about today. about isolation and what Queen Esther does. And she donned her royal robes because she had a moment. And please tune in. And then that's when I'm going to tell you where I got this, by the way. So where I got my toilet paper. I'll tell you my little secret on Sunday night. How about that? How about that kind of teaser? So if you want to find out where to get some of this, tune in on Sunday night. And we'll hope to see you then. Thank you so much. God bless and stay safe. Bye-bye.